Hey guys, internet was a little bit sketchy, so I decided I'd just record myself going through your photos that you guys have sent me. It looks like you got epic conditions over there. I'm in southern New South Wales at the moment, just outside Bermagui. It's pretty cold. We've been looking for a little beach break all day, but the last few days we've been surfing 3 to 4 foot, barreling left and right up by Aladoa. So it's been a fun trip for me, but it's not the Maldives. So I'm trying to recreate it, but it's cold. I'm in wetsuits and long sleeves, and I'm still cold. So very jealous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the photos each day at a time and go through them and kind of do a bit of a critique, say what I can see you can improve, what you can do better or worse, and kind of go from there. So let's go. All right, so this is day 2. I'm going to start with day 1 there. All right, day 1, Tucky Joe's. I don't think I've ever surfed this spot, but it looks like Grant's found himself a pretty nice left. So let's have a look at it. So to start with, we can see there's a few things that I really like about this. Paddle's on the right side of him. It's not over this side. So he's projecting around the paddle and up towards it. You can see his eyes are looking up towards the top of the wave. All really good signs. What I'd probably say is, it's hard to say. I'm not going to critique just yet. Looks like he needs a flash though, or a Casey flow. Looking good, Grant. Good to see you. Wish the video would work. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, so from this photo to the next, looks like you probably could have drawn your bottom turn a bit higher, so going up to this sort of spot. So all the speed of the wave is up here, the top half of the wave. You're in that sort of bottom half, and then there's also this sort of section too. So let's call them thirds. Ideally, all the speed is up in this section. When you're in this section, you're kind of a little bit of speed, but you're not drawing a full line. So ideally, you want to start at the bottom of the wave and go up towards the top of the wave. So that's in terms of generating speed while on the wave and keeping your flow and not having to paddle or pump. Using that whole section of the wave is the best way to do it. But looking good, Grant. How good. Stoked you're on the left too. Okay, so you can see here the wave's obviously fattened out a bit, but you can see again we're going to break it up into thirds. Here's our wave. You can see it's still in that middle third. So if on that turn before, if you bottom turned and then up into the top section of the wave, this top third, all the speed's here, then you can kind of wrap back towards the white water. And they're the kind of turns I want you to be doing. All the power and speed in the wave is in this section of the wave up high, and then in this zone by the white water. That's where you want to try to always be. This zone here, there's not a lot of speed. So if you're in this zone, it's going to be hard to keep your power and speed and flow. So really, I want you to focus on these 2 sections, here and here. All right, keep rolling through. Hard to say what's going on, but the paddle's on the right side, which I love to see. Nice one, Grant. Now my internet's playing up. So I'm going to get out of here so I can sort of see. All right, this is more for the SUP guys. I know there's surfers and paddlers, but so for this one, Grant, you seem to get a few photos in the first day. I want you to think about, so your paddle stroke, you can see you follow through all the way and there's this negative angle. And what that's doing is it's pushing water that way and it's actually forcing your nose down into the water, which for this would be good. But what we want to try to do is really focus on a paddle stroke from here through to your feet to there. Reason being, this paddle stroke here creates lift on the board, and that lift gives you more speed, gets you onto the wave. More repetition, more acceleration. It's going to be your best way to accelerate onto the wave. Yeah, so by thinking about these more shorter strokes, it's going to allow you to accelerate more forward and have less, I guess the longer strokes are more efficient, but it's going to stop you from getting onto those waves super quickly. So work on a stroke from here to here rather than from here back to there. So just a shorter stroke is going to be better, more beneficial for you guys on the SUPs. Same when you paddle for a wave. On a short board, you're taking these little strokes. You're not going all the way back behind you. It's more faster strokes. It's going to be more beneficial than one big long stroke. So with our SUP, paddle in the water by the nose, finishing by your feet. That's where the power is. Anything past your feet, it's actually driving the nose of your board down into the water, which nose dives, less speed, less lift, less waves caught. All right, let's have a look. It's more of Grant. You can see it's sort of the same as before. Lots of water at the back. So Grant, I want to stop seeing this. And that's because you're paddling from here through to there. So I want to see paddling from your nose to your feet. You're going to catch far more waves. I know you catch a lot of waves already and you would have been frothing on this left-hander, but this is not what I want to see. I want to see more shorter strokes out front. Alrighty. All right, let's have a look at some of the shortboarders. Grant's had plenty of action. All right, nice looking wave. Really, so in terms of where the power is, again, if we're going to break this wave up into thirds, we got 1, 2, and then down the bottom 3. So you're on the edge of the bottom third and the second third, middle third. What you want to try to do is go from this bottom third up into this top third. So let's see what you do in the next couple steps. It's not looking too good because your eyes are looking down towards the camera. To get up into this zone, you actually want your eyes to be looking up towards it. Where your eyes go, if I look this way, my shoulders rotate, my hips rotate too. So really think about that. Okay, next one. Okay, so you got a bit higher, but see, I'm gonna go to the next one again. And you did get there eventually, but without much speed or power. You didn't have enough speed to do a turn. So right here, I'm gonna zoom in. You can see your eyes are still looking down this way. So where you look, you go. If your eyes are looking up towards here, you'd be able to do this bottom turn and then turn back down towards the wave. And it, to be honest, looks like you actually did a pretty good job despite where you're looking. Obviously the wave's looking pretty nice too. I'm sorry, I don't know everyone's names. Grant is sort of one of the guys I've been on the camp with, the Moon Tours trip with before. So I don't know everyone's name, sorry. Really nice and high and tight in the pocket here. So, but ideally I'd probably want to be trying to do a turn like this in that sort of section because you had not a lot of speed. You sort of drifted up into that top third. On the borderline of the top and the middle third. So you're here in this in-between zone. So ideally you want to go up and turn back down on that sort of wave from what I'd look at trying to do. But really nice, high and tight in the pocket. You almost tuck down and get a little barrel there. Really nice. That's exactly where you want to be in the pocket of the wave for turns, carving back down with speed. But just looks like you didn't have quite enough speed to really do exactly what you wanted to do on that wave. And again, let's have a look at where the eyes are looking. A little bit better this time, actually. Looks like your eyes are starting to look sort of more this way, but you can see the head is sort of more pointed towards the camera. So you're just a little bit higher. If you look up higher, you're gonna get more speed. Draw this line, cutting back or whatever it is, but this is where the speed is. You're in the right spot, but to continue your speed, you have to try and stay higher on the wave. High. Basically more gravity is pulling you down. And again, really nice and high and tight in the pocket, but just need to sort of accentuate those turns a bit more. And then at the end, it's the end of that sequence. Oh, we got someone on a Sonova generation board. Nice. Paddling in. Okay, I'm going to get to where the crux of it all begins. Okay, nice bottom turn. So I'm going to zoom in. Okay, this is actually really nice, guys. Because two things I can see they're really good. One, using the paddle, you're pivoting around the paddle. Two, eyes are looking higher. They're not as high as I'd like to see it. Board is facing down, and if we break it up into thirds, you can see top third, middle third, bottom third. You're in that bottom third, and you're going to try to project up into the top third. All looking good from here. Knees are bent, more pressure on the back foot to get that more pivot around the tail. The paddle's there to sort of lean on, and you want to try to pivot around it. So you're pivoting around the paddle like this. Toe sides engaged. Eyes are looking to where you want to go. Nice one, really good. Another goofy footer. It's not just Grant. That's awesome. Enjoy the lefts while they're there, guys, because from my experience, it was all right. And I'm natural footer, so I like that. Okay, so good. You can see you've done a bottom turn. You're up into the top section, or probably that's the top third here. I'd say you're just outside the top third. You're in that borderline top to middle third. So we want to try to get that turn a little bit higher if we can do anything. But things that are really good here are you're redirecting using your paddle to redirect. Just going to zoom in a little. Using your paddle to redirect. Eyes are looking down the line again. But I guess to make this turn better, I actually want your eyes to be looking back towards the wave. You want to do a turn like this. And then from there, you're going to go do another bottom turn back up towards the wave. So more redirecting. As you redirect, if you look at the camera where I am, redirect. And if you redirect, your eyes turn back towards the wave. It's going to be better. More speed, more turns, more spray, power, flow, all that sort of stuff. But it is a nice turn. It looks like you it's like a check turn. You're going down the line still. It's still plenty going on. So to make this better, a bit higher on the wave. So aim up here and eyes back towards where you came from. All right, let's see. And it looks like after that, you've reset. And I'd probably say you're in the middle section of the wave now. So bottom, top. You can do your bottom turn here and then go back up here. And we really want to aim for this top as high in the wave as you can get, really. Eyes looking down the line. Just come out of your turn. Try to get them a bit higher. It's going to get you more speed quicker, but all in all, looks pretty good to me. All right, let's a couple more of the same. Let's have a look at this one. It's the end of a turn. So this is probably a point where not as good as some of the other photos. It's the end of your turn, you're redirecting, and you can see your body is going the opposite way to your board. So looks like your paddle's got a bit stuck in the water there. You've gone to redirect, paddle, and around. And your hips are twisting, your eyes are twisting, but you've straightened your legs. So straight legs, no good. You've got to bend those knees. Bend the knees, get lower, put more pressure on the back foot. Eyes are trying to look back towards there, but you can see the body's trying to sort of fighting it. So keep lower and twist through the knees. I'm sure I'll get all your names later on. They have to do a Zoom call back to me to sort of give me feedback. Nice water, beautiful conditions. How about this right-hander? Nice one, guys. Paddling, paddling. A few missed waves by the looks. So it's easier said than done. But when you're paddling for a wave, you're going to always look, and where the tallest bit of the wave is. So here it looks like it's sort of here. So in terms of paddling, you want to be paddling across and then come back the way you want to go. Or you could start from deeper and paddle across this way. It's no good paddling from here and going straight in because you're not going to catch it. You see here you've started paddling across, but the wave's too small or you're sitting too far out. You really want to be in the takeoff spot and then go the direction you want to be going. Okay, let's have a look at some more. It's like my internet's having a bit of trouble loading now. What's going on? Yeah, it says it's okay. There we go. All right, some nice looking waves here. Okay, so paddling on again, probably could have been a little bit deeper. So really picking it apart, but ideally if you were here and a bit further out, you would have caught that one a bit easier. Let's see if you catch it. Yep, get to your feet. All right, nice one. Setting up the bottom turn. Okay, this is really good, guys, because this is good for everyone here. Two things doing really well. Look at where the eyes are looking. Up towards the top of the wave. Everything's twisting, everything's flowing, and basically bottom turning up towards the bottom of the wave. So you're in the bottom third, which is where you want to be. You've just taken off, and you're going to go up towards this top third here. Really nice. Knees are bent, eyes are looking where you want to go. Looking good. Okay, let's see what happens next. It looks like you might have run out a little bit of speed. So for that particular wave, it looks like maybe you went a little bit too low on the wave. So you can see it's quite a fat wave, the way it's tapering. It's quite full all through here. It's not doing this. So ideally, when you took off and gone straight across, then you could have done a cut back towards the wave. So you've just drawn your bottom turn a little bit too deep. So in terms of our sections, 1, 2, 3, you're quite deep in this bottom third of the wave. So if you'd done a shorter, like taken off and done a turn in this middle third and then gone up and then cut back towards the whitewater, could have been better. As it's tricky surfing, it's wave by wave, and because if you identify this wave as quite a fat wave, it's not barreling. It's not steep. You're not getting a lot of speed out of it. From being all the way low on the wave here to get back up to the top of the wave, you're not going to get much speed out of that. So things to think about. It's tricky, but conditions do look really nice. And by taking off a bit deeper, so right from the beginning, if you think about the TP, this is the peak of the wave. If you can take off on the peak or just behind the peak and go across it towards the right or the other way towards the left, that's going to be your best way to get the most speed out of the wave. I want you guys to really think about in the next few days where to take off on the wave, because that in itself is so important. Yeah, so you can see you ran out of speed and there's all this steeper section here, but you've got no speed, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a nice wave. All right, so that's all the day 1 photos you sent me. I do have the day 2 photos too, but I don't have time to go through them right now. I'll do it later on today and I'll try to send it through to you guys then. But really jealous. I really want to meet all you guys too. So hopefully you guys get good enough connection that we can do this sort of live interaction. And I also want you to think about those 3 thirds of the wave. So the top third is where all the speed is. The middle third, you want to try to go through that the whole time. Or if it's a fat wave, bottom turn in that middle third and get up towards the top third quicker. The bottom third of the wave, only if it's a really steep wave do you want to go to the bottom. And when you project off the bottom, look up to where you want to go. If you don't look up to where you want to go, you're not going to get enough speed. You're going to get stuck in that middle third and sort of be lagging in speed. So really think about that. Other than that, other than I'm really jealous and I'm here in the cold and about to go surf a little beach break with my brother, I want you guys to enjoy the Maldives. Think about how lucky you guys are to be there and not take anything for granted. Oh, one more thing. Taking off on the wave. I was talking about the peak. So if this is our peak, If it's a right-hander, you want to take off on the one side of the peak and go across the other way, or right on the peak and then go across. If it's a left-hander, other way. From this side of the peak and go across the other way. So a lot, especially for the stand-ups, there's lots of movement, lots of room to sort of take off. For the short boards, less so, but how and where you take off on the wave really dictates the speed and flow of the wave. So really think about, you see those perfect photos of the pros, they take off on this wave, bottom turn, they're straight into a barrel. Seems like, oh, anyone could do that. The skill isn't them actually taking off and pulling into the barrel, it's where they paddled to before they took off for that wave. So what I want you guys to really think about for the next couple of days, or the whole trip ideally, what I really think about is identify the peak of the wave, and then identify whether it's better to take off behind the peak or on the peak. I don't want to see too many people taking off on the shoulder of the peak. Me and my brother call those people parrots. If you sit on the shoulder, you're a parrot. You don't want to be a parrot because you're missing half the wave. Take off on the peak or behind the peak, and you're going to get more speed going into that first turn, which is going to set you up better for the rest of the wave. So as I said before, guys, enjoy the Maldives. I'm very jealous, and I'm trying to recreate it here in Australia in the South Coast, but it's cold and the waves aren't too good today, but we're going to get wet anyway. So looking forward to chatting to you guys each day. I'm going to go through each of the videos, each of the photos that Steph's sending me, and stoked to be working with you guys on Moon Tours, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Catch you guys.